and welcome everybody. It is Larissa here. I am here on Wednesday. Welcome to my Lunch and Learn, where I'm exploring topics to help you elevate your mindset, be at your best, and truly radically expand your life, your entire world, and your business. Today I'm talking about a super incredibly special topic that is dear and true to my heart, and it is about money. And it's not just about money for myself, but it's really about how you can teach your kids the value of money. And this is something I talk a lot about, and it's been something that's been requested over and over and over again in our community. So we put out an ask, and this was one of the things that people asked about. So if you've ever felt awkward or confused talking about money or thinking about how to introduce the concept of money to your kids, maybe you avoid talking about money because you don't think that you have a handle on it yourself. And perhaps you see that you're doing a good job, but maybe you're looking for some ideas to elevate and amplify what you're actually doing with your kids. If that is the case, then today is for you, because I'm going to share some super valuable tools, tips, and insights that you can use to introduce money to your kids at a young age, right from a very young age, and start teaching them some foundational tools and skills and strategies that can last a lifetime. And so some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Larissa McCook, author of Stop Procrastinating Your Life Away, Discover the Secrets to More Time, Money, and Freedom. And I'm a master results coach and CEO of Abundance Academy, where we work with professional women whose external results tell the world they're successful, but on the inside, they know they're destined for more. And so I help them stop holding themselves back, truly go after their dreams, radically expand their life and their income for themselves and their families. So I would love, love, love to know where you are coming in from. If you're tuning in by replay, then type in replay in the chat. If it is your very first time here, and I truly do thank you. I appreciate your presence, and I thank you for being here. So I just want to share a little bit about my background and my story and how money has played out in my life and why it is that I'm here. Like, why am I even here? So this is going to help you understand where I'm coming in from and why we're even talking about this. But when I grew up, my parents were employees, my grandparents were employees, and pretty much everyone in my family was an employee. Other than my grandma renting her basement suite, there was not really any entrepreneurial bones in my world that I had good examples of growing up. And when I was 7 years old, my mother got into a relationship with my stepfather, and he got into the world of financial services. And I remember I'd get money for birthdays and Christmases, and I would save it for something, who knew what. But I saw everyone in my class getting these big 5-disc changers, these big boom boxes, and they were so cool, and I wanted to have one too. And so when I was 8, for some reason, I decided to save for the stereo system, which didn't actually mean a lot to me personally, but I thought it was cool. And right before I was about to buy it, something in me said, Larissa, you should go invest your money. And so I asked to go see a financial advisor. And the woman, she said, I will invest your money. I had $500. And she said, I'm not going to do it until you read a book. And the book I read, I still have it. It's The Wealthy Barber by David Chilton. She gave it to me many, many, many years ago. And I read it within a week when I was 8 years old. And it's a great introduction to personal finance. I'm sure there's updated versions of that book or other books out there these days that are more relevant. However, it was a beautiful introduction to something, and it made me feel so empowered. Now, over time, I learned the importance of saving money, and that was a really good thing because I saw everyone saying you have to save money. And I also knew that we weren't really rich, but we had a lot of advantages over a lot of other people. My grandma, because she was a saver, again, save, 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 she was going to buy me a brand new car and pay for my school because she thought everyone should have a good car and have education. So those were two things that were really important to her. And I had always just expected it would come. I never had to work for it. I never had to save for it. I felt fortunate that way. However, as time came up, when I got my first car, I had so many feelings of guilt because when I was in high school, other kids were working to buy their own cars and I never had to. My grandma just bought me one. And other people were saving and prepping and earning money to go to university and go to college. But I never had to because I was just handed everything on a silver platter. And so I had so much guilt around that. And I also admired the people that were actually working to have the money that they had. And this guilt stayed with me for a long, long time. And I did work. It's not like I had no job. I worked throughout high school and university. I often had several different jobs because I felt so compelled to learn how to actually earn my own way instead of just getting everything handed to me. So when it came to having my son, my husband and I, we had gone to so many seminars together, and we'd discussed money and how it worked and true mindset. And we started looking at certain things that we wanted to implement with our son when it came to mindset practices, health practices, just daily routines, and money. And so one of the things we learned is that how you learn as a child gets embedded into your life, especially prior to 7 years of age. So many of the things that we learned were really, really good, but there was also a lot of things that we wanted to very deliberately change when it came to raising our son. And that's what today is all about, is taking a look at how you relate to money and the relationship you want to demonstrate for your kids, and how you want them to be able to relate to money as well. So when it comes to a relationship, the term relationship is where two or more concepts or objects are connected. It's a state of being connected. And money is the current medium of exchange, so coins and banknotes. And we have, when it comes to us plus money, there's a connection point, and often that connection point ends up feeling like feelings, right? What kind of feelings do you have when it comes to money? How do you relate, and how do you operate with it? And I think this is so important because you have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind. Your conscious mind is responsible for 5% of your results, but your unconscious mind is responsible for 95%. And your unconscious mind is essentially where your mental programming is set. This is what happens to you below the surface, out of your conscious awareness. And kids are so wide open prior to 7 years of age. They don't really have a lot of rationale or logic. However, everything they see, everything they hear, everything they experience, it just goes right in and becomes imprinted. Just like anything and anyone in life, you can have a great relationship with money. And it's got many different aspects to it. So there's earning money. There's receiving money, right? So earning is where you work for it and you get it. Receiving is just maybe you don't have to work for it. How do you get money? When you get your paycheck, is there a sense of expectation? When someone gives you a gift, how do you receive that gift? So receiving is also a really important aspect. How do you hold or save money? How do you grow or invest money? There's leveraging your money, so allowing it to work for you. There is managing your money, and there's also the aspect of spending and giving. So there's 8 really key areas that you want to be aware of, and we actually covered these in the Revolutionize Your Relationship with Money series. It was so fabulous. And even if you're good, what we noticed is even if you're good in 1 or 2 or even a few of these areas, chances are you've got some work to do in other areas. And when you clean up your financial house, when you clean up all of these aspects and you keep your eye on the ball, you truly set yourself up to live an abundant and success-filled life. Now, so often kids see their parents just purchase something and then it just shows up in their world. They don't make the association that their parents have to go to work to earn the money to pay for something with the Visa card, and then they get a toy. Like, they don't have that linear ability to see where the money even comes from. Maybe they get an allowance, right? Parents attempt to give children allowance so that they can have money and freedom to do what they want, which is great. However, while that is okay, it teaches them a very limited aspect of financial literacy because it doesn't cover the broad spectrum of so many of these different aspects of money. My son had a friend over for a play date, and he was like, we really love this kid. And he's got an older brother who was at a soccer or some kind of game, some kind of physical sport. And his mom came with his older brother to pick him up after the play date. And the boys just had pizza. And then we had a few extra pieces. And I asked the brother, because the kid was, I think he was like 8 or 10 years old, and he looked hungry. He looked big. He was sweaty. I'm like, do you want a piece of pizza? And he's like, yes, I want a piece of pizza. And so his mom's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then I could see he was like, I could see he was eyeballing more. He wanted more, and he was hungry. He's a big kid. And so I offered him more, and his mom's like, no, 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 don't take that. Don't be so greedy. And had I not been willing to share, I wouldn't have offered it. I love feeding children. If you know me, I want people to be well fed. And I offered and I insisted. However, the first reaction was, don't be so greedy. If you take more than just one thing, if you take more than just a teeny tiny piece, you're greedy. And those are the kinds of paradigms that so often we aren't aware of that are instilled in our world. And so it's really important that you realize that everything you see, hear, say in front of your children, everything they see, hear, experience in their lives prior to 7 years of age and after, it's just much more strongly imprinted. It stays with them. It's like there's a snapshot that goes into their unconscious mind. And so you've probably done some really great things. However, you want to be careful what you say and what you do and demonstrate in front of your children. And so I want to just get into some of these ideas that I promised I'd share with you. And while I am not the final authority on money, this is just another perspective. I do think some of these are really fun things that we've considered and unique ways that I don't see a lot of people operate with their children. So one of the things, when he was a teeny tiny baby, he was probably like right after he could walk, when he was probably 2 or 3, as soon as he could have a little bit of a conversation, we got into a routine of going to the farmer's market. And so he knew that we went to the farmer's market, and then we gave money, and then we got money back, and then we got something from the vendors. And so as soon as we could possibly do that, we gave him the money, and he'd hand it, and then he'd get the change. And when he got able to speak, we used to say, pleasure doing business with you. We'd get him to start placing the orders, because we wanted him to build confidence with money and also with other people and having that medium of exchange. We also made sure to give him $100 bills on a regular basis, because we realized, I can't remember who we were around, but they saw a $100 bill once and they're like, whoa, 100! Like, it's like they'd never seen a $100 bill before. And we wanted them to be comfortable with all colors of money and have $100 bills seem a good normal. We're like, if that can be imprinted that he just expects to have $100 bills around, well, that's a really great expectation. He'll find ways in his future to keep having more $100 bills around, if there are even bills at that point. However, it's the principle of the thing. So that was something we started doing really early on. We had him give tips to the musicians, because there were buskers, and we would make sure that we said, we want to give paper money to them because they're earning money and they're giving us music and they're making it beautiful for us. So we want to give them paper money, so that we could teach them an element of generosity as well. And so those were some of the things that we did at a very early age. We used to count money and play with that as well, just when he was much younger, and introducing him to that side of things. The next level of what we did is he started getting birthday and Christmas money, and we used to just put it away for him because he didn't know the difference. But at one point, I think around 3 or 4 years old, he's like, I want to buy a toy. And so we didn't want him to go buy toys for hundreds of dollars every time he got birthday and Christmas money. And we wanted him to learn some responsibility. And so what we did is we started these jars. These are plastic little containers from Dollarama. We labeled them. We still use them. And what we did was we split his money up into 5 jars. And this is the financial freedom jar, where you save for, this is like your golden goose. This is your nest egg, your future amount. So you can buy real estate for investment purposes with this. You could buy stocks, you can buy bonds. My son has purchased these silver coins. He's decided, he went on the site and he found the ones he wanted. He's got a few more. These are the only ones I could find right now because he's got them hidden somewhere. However, he's purchased silver. He's saving up for some gold pieces that he's got his eye on as investments. These are long-term investments that you don't intend to just cash out and blow on Ninjago toys. They are long-term investments that you intend to use in order to generate more money in the future. So financial freedom account. He's got long-term savings for spending. And this is where you save money for something that you've decided. He's bought an $80 stuffy with us. Totally not my choice. He really wanted it, but he decided he wanted it. He saved for it and he bought it. He's bought big Lego sets with this money. I can't remember what his latest thing is, but he's saving for something else. We've discussed a few things and I can't remember which one he settled on. But you can spend this. However, these are for bigger purchases. For adults, it might be things like tuition for school, a new car, a fancy purse. So something that's a bigger purchase that you wouldn't normally buy month to month. Okay, so long-term savings for spending. Education. And so this is for educational purposes. So this might be a course that he wants to take, books that he wants to buy, or even learning opportunities that he wants to indulge in. So he can purchase memberships or anything he wants with this money that's related to education. And we discuss how is it going to help educate you and do that. So he has that learning opportunity with that. Giving, this is money that you obviously give and donate, giving away. His choices for doing that is he's given it to some street people in our local area. There's some that are around the street and he's familiar with. And so he likes giving them money. So he's given his money away that way. We went to a fundraiser where he wanted to donate. He actually donated $100 out of his giving jar to a fundraiser to help people that are really in need. And so this is a beautiful opportunity to help teach children how to be charitable and gift their money. Maybe it's to people that are less fortunate or in other ways. And then, of course, fun. This one gets emptied out every single month. In his case, it might be every week. However, the fun jar is beautiful because he gets to blow this on whatever he wants. Ice cream, candy, anything. We are not allowed to say no. We might have to say you might need some vegetables before that ice cream. However, he can spend it on anything he chooses, and he very enthusiastically does. And so every time he gets money, it goes here, and then we distribute it when there's an accumulation. And so what we do with these is periodically we have a money tracker where we track how much money is there. And so he's also learned how to add his money up and put it in an Excel spreadsheet. It goes up, it goes down, because obviously there are times where we do spend it. But this has been a really, really huge learning opportunity because it's taught him the power of tracking your money. On his Excel sheet, he loves counting his money. He loves using his money and discussing different ways he's going to work with that money. And now we actually started allowing him to earn money. So he earns money in a few different ways. So obviously birthday and Christmas money that he's given, he'll use for that. But he also has money that he started paper shredding. We have lots of paper that we have in our house, and we shred all the paper that leaves our house. So any bills or any correspondence, and we have some big projects that we're going through and we're shredding. And so he used to get $1 for every 10 minutes of paper shredding. And then somehow he doubled his rate. I'm not sure he negotiated. So it's also teaching him negotiation skills. But he realized paper shredding is a lot of work. However, he can earn money, and he can do that to earn money. And so now he gets $2 for every 10 minutes of paper shredding. He also does Instagram and Facebook videos. So if he'll go live with me, and because he started saying poo-poo and doing very obnoxious things on some of my videos, I'm like, hey, can you go live? You said something really cool. And so every viable video he gives me where he's not sticking out his tongue or he's doing silly things, I pay him a set amount. And so that's also one way he can generate income. And he's really comfortable being on camera. We wanted to make him confident just speaking in front of people. My husband pointed out, he's like, he just went up during your book launch and talked in front of, like, I think it was just under 100 people, but he talked in front of people and he had a microphone and he didn't even think twice about it. He didn't say, ooh, I'm shy. He just got up there and talked. So he's really comfortable talking in front of people because of the videos we've done, because of the stages we've encouraged him to be on. And that was a really big thing for us as well. So it connected to the money earning, but it was part of something bigger. We also decided to, last summer, we decided to, I saw that he was, we were after camp. We were driving home and he saw an ice cream man and I did not have any cash. And this was the kind of thing that didn't have credit card machines. So I said, this guy does not have Visa and I don't have cash. He's like, how can you not have cash? And I'm like, sorry, I don't. And he threw a big hissy fit. He's like, just use your Visa card. And in that moment, I realized that he saw us just tap, 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 tap so much that he just assumed money came without thinking about where it came from. And so we started using cash. And what we would do is we would say, okay, today we will have $20. Today we'll have $50. Today we'll have whatever amount of money we decided. And that would be our budget for the time. And so maybe that was for dinner or for treats or for going out or for an experience. And we've even carried that through to the farmer's market where we would say, okay, you're not going to get $30 in cookies every week. You're going to get $5 today. And he was really upset with that because he only got 2 items and he had to choose. And then the next week I gave him $20 and he pre-thought what he would do. And he was so much more intentional about how he purchased. It wasn't just gimme, gimme, gimme. He was really mindful of his purchases. And so that taught him choice, that taught him responsibility. And that also said, okay, this is the finite amount you have to work with for now until you get more, until you receive more, or until you go earn more money. And so creating those little budgets was absolutely huge. When we went on vacation last summer, we went to Saskatoon to visit my mom and we were there for a couple of weeks. And I told my husband, I'm like, I think we should just give him money every day. I said, let's just give him money. Let's give him $10 a day and let him use it for any toys or ice cream or any just frivolous things he wants to buy. Because often when we go on vacation, we just say yes to everything. And my husband's like, oh, it's going to cost so much. And I said, no, this is going to save us so much money and it's going to teach him responsibility. And so what we did was we gave him $10 a day on vacation. And he was spent $7 before he left the airport. When ice cream was 5 minutes away, he bought a $7 ice cream cone. When ice cream was 5 minutes away at his grandmother's house. And that was a choice he made. But then the next day, he didn't have enough money for a toy he wanted to buy. And so it got him to start thinking, okay, well, if I want this toy, I might need to wait 3 or 4 days. So it taught him delayed gratification. He also learned the power of sales tax. So he started calculating that. He's like, okay, well, how much is this plus tax? And so we would do the math. He learned how to add that up. And he also realized that not everything is just what the price tag says. So that was a really amazing experience. He got to selectively choose what he wanted, and it was phenomenal. And he got so much more appreciative of things like ice cream cones when his grandmother would buy him an ice cream cone, and it didn't have to come out of his budget. And so that was a really beautiful opportunity because he knew what he was responsible for, and we also knew what we were responsible for in that given period of time. So I think the biggest thing is it's important to set out the rules in advance. Couple other ideas. Hope this is really helpful for you. He wanted to get fish. And so he decided to go out and earn money because he did not have a lot of money in his long-term savings for spending jar. He just had, I think, like $20 in there at one point. And that wasn't enough for fish. And we said, if you're going to buy fish, you're going to pay for at least half of them. You're going to pay for some of the fish tank. You're going to pay for the fish. We're not just buying you fish. We want you to be responsible for them and take ownership over them. And so he didn't like that. But then he realized we're not buying him fish unless he contributes. And he also realized he didn't have enough money to do that because we looked at how much everything cost. So he decided to go out on the street on Saturday night and start busking. And he earned, I think, like $7, and he was not pleased with that. He was really bummed. However, we came in the house and he said, you know what? I said, oh, how else could you earn money? And he's like, I'm going to go ask the neighbors. And so what we did is we decided to write a letter to the neighbors that said, I'm going to busk tomorrow from 10 to 12 on our lawn, and I'll have a little yard sale. Please come support me. I want to go buy some fish, and I'd love for you to come and take part. And so he went door knocking. We photocopied this letter that he wrote by hand. He went door knocking that morning. I went along with him to monitor, to make sure he didn't end up in someone's house. However, he did all the talking. He did all the inviting. He did the script, and he earned over $121 within less than 24 hours. And that was a really huge opportunity, because at first I said, no, you can't go ask the neighbors. However, I'm supposed to be the mindset person that's open to possibilities. And he found a way, and he thrived. And so I think creating opportunities and giving them ways to be creative is really, really incredibly, incredibly powerful. The last thing I wanted to share is, just recently on Mother's Day weekend, my son had me pull out this cash flow game. And this is a board game by Robert Kiyosaki. It's like a $100 board game, $120 board game. So it's fabulous. And what it does is it teaches you about money, and it teaches you how to get your money working for you, so you don't have to be working for it. And he saw the mouse on there. He wanted to play it. And what's brilliant about this game is you actually have a statement, a financial statement. So you have to track your income, your expenses, your assets, and your liabilities. And it's like Monopoly, but just so much more robust. And it's so much more practical and so much more applicable to your daily life. And so we've been playing this game over and over and over again. He's obsessed with it, but he loves math. He did his own financial statement. He updated it at every time. They do have a kid's version of this game. However, he just played the adult one because we didn't have the kids one, and he was fine with it. He's 6, so if don't know what the cutoff is for the kids one versus not. But this was also almost another level of him being able to start thinking, how can I get free? What kinds of ways do I have to think about my money in order to get out of what Robert Kiyosaki calls the rat race? I can't open the board right now, and get into this life of entrepreneurial and business freedom. And so this is a fun new adventure that we're going to take on. We're going to start looking at how to expand his capacity for looking at business opportunities, looking at investments, and leveraging himself, and being able to really create new streams and new sources of income for himself. So these are just some of the things that I've been doing with my son. One of our clients, Rosalie, she has kids that are a little bit older. And what she's done is she's actually put, every year before school starts, they discuss a system. They discuss roles and responsibilities for their house. And this year she decided, she purchased like Monopoly money or some kind of little money off of the internet from Amazon. And they make contracts for who's responsible for what. And this past year, they added financial amounts for each thing that each person is responsible for. And when they do their job, they get their money. However, if the parents have to do the kids' jobs or the kids do the parents' jobs, you have to pay out of your own pool. And so it's teaching them that responsibility of, okay, if I don't do my work, I'm going to have to pay someone else to do it. So I thought that was really, really clever. She also has her kids sign contracts and everything. She makes it really official. She's in HR. It's amazing. Love it. And I thought that was a really clever way to do things. So these are some ideas for you to just move forward and truly thrive with your kids in a financial way. I hope they've been helpful. And if you have been finding this valuable, let us know in the comments below. And if you have any other ideas that have worked for you, please do share. So if you're interested in learning more about the Revolutionize Your Relationship with Money series, and if you would like access to that, then you can just reach out to our team. Okay, so I will put a calendar link in the chat, and then you can book a call with myself or my team to learn more about our programming and how some of these programs can truly make a difference to your life. And if you'd like access to my Stop Procrastinating Your Life Away book, this is a free digital download. I'm not just giving you a chapter, I'm giving you the entire book. It's really, really good. This is not just a nice read. This is actually a useful tool. Then feel free to dive in and indulge. We'll make sure to put a link in the comments below this video. So thank you for joining me. I will see you guys again next week, and you have yourself a beautiful day. Bye for now.